Okay, people, come out the bushes now. Let's go. Little late night talk here. This is your boy, the X, Bronx 718. Let's go. Shout out to the girl supporters and shit. I know it's late night, late night. But yeah, we're gonna do a little late night talk and shit. What's going on? News, everything else. I was supposed to do a show a little earlier today, but I was a little busy. Here we go, man. Just about the bombshell, autopsy report. Where shots to the building, I think we get to the building, no message, nothing. Let's go to the show.
I listened and I listened and I listened to our friend Ben Crump as he went through the independent autopsy, and this is what I find to be probative.
Preliminary findings, and this is significant. Focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region. He said the etiology is unknown at this time. He said the body was received after the initial autopsy. He said the body had marked decomposition.
Decomposition. What does that mean? Probatively, what?
Okay, I'm trying to fast forward this woman. I don't know. She gets the scoop. Come on. Damn.
At the Burnett School of Medicine at TCU. I don't have to explain to you what it takes to become not just a medical examiner, but the chief medical examiner in a metropolitan area like Fort Worth. All that aside, COD, MOD, undetermined. But what jumped out at me, among so many things, Dr. Kendall Crowns, what does he mean about the red discoloration in the deep, soft tissues overlaying the occipital bones? What is that? Translate.
So what that is the occipital bone is the bone in this is your skull. It's the bone in the back of your head, the directly back side of your head. So when he's describing these hemorrhages in the deep, soft tissues, it means deep in the musculature that holds your head in place, there is a red discoloration. What could this be? It could be settling of the blood from decomposition or from lividity, cooling of the blood. The body has been kind of put on its back and transported to Washington, D.C. So that could be that. It could also be
Trust me,
blunt force
I don't
injuries.
think I know more than you on this, Dr. Kendall Crowns, but you got me drinking out of the fire hydrant. You're giving me so much information. I had to break in right there because you said I'm going to quote, posterior red discoloration in deep, soft tissue overlying occipital. Deep, soft tissue. To a layperson like me, that means it's deep below the skin. And you just stated that could be from the settling of the blood. In other words, if he were lying on his back when he died, the blood would settle to the back of his head. But isn't it true to you, Brian Trasher, Vice President, United Cajun Navy? The Navy participated in the search, and I got to clear up that whole thing about fully clothed with you. That said, isn't it true? And I'm looking at the picture on my phone that I got from an undisclosed source. I'm looking at Nolan's body on the beach. We are not showing it. He's face down, isn't he?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, he was when we flew over.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you about the clothing.
Yeah.
What? Repeat?
No, I said when we observed him from the air, yeah, he was face down and he was wearing swim trunks and only swim trunks. I think that the term fully
Right.
clothed just got taken out of context.
Well, when you look at the body from high up, it appears at first like he had on a shirt with swim trunks, but he does not have on a shirt. He only has on swim trunks. That's a whole peripheral issue. But back to Dr. Kendall Crowns. So, Dr. Kendall Crowns, you may have an explanation for this. I've already thought of one, and I'm not a medical examiner, but I don't see how the deep red, I'm talking about, was there a blow to the back of the head? Did he fall off a boat? Did he hit his head on something else? If it turns out he drowned, how did he get in the water? Why was he in the water? Why did everybody leave him? Lots of questions tonight. But if he was found face down, the blood would not have settled to the back of his occipital.
Well, that's correct at the initial autopsy, but he was also transported to Washington, D.C. on his back, I assume, not on his face. And so after death, you can still have pooling of the blood in the dependent areas if the lividity is not fixed, or even if it is fixed, you can have pooling. So it is difficult to say without seeing the actual reddened area in the deep soft tissue, whether this is just a decompositional artifact or if it's indeed blunt force trauma. Now, they're not describing any injuries to the skin surface, which would still be there if he was, even if he's decomposed, you would still see injuries, abrasions, bruises, lacerations, things of that nature, even with decomposition. So it's difficult to give significance to this deep red area in the musculature of the deep soft tissues of the back of the head without further photographs or more information. To me, could it be blunt force trauma? Yes. Could it be a decompositional artifact? Yes. Could it be something from transport? Yes. Hard to say at this point.
Okay, hold on. Let me just take each one of those. And the rest of the panel, please, if you've got a question or a point, jump in. We need all of your brain power. Oh, that's an open invitation to Mobley to jump in. But 3 things you said, that there could still be pooling of the blood. And I don't want to be too DEFCON 4 into this and get lost in the weeds, but Nolan is dead. He's already been autopsied. Days have passed, and you're telling me that the blood could still sift down from the front of his face to the back.
This real quick. I have to pause this real quick, right? This case been going on for a while, right? No one has been arrested. Me personally, I think somebody did some foul shit on that brother. I don't understand how the girl that was supposed to be with him hasn't been questioned. It's a lot going on. I seen the video where the mother was talking, she was smirking. Now, I don't understand about how can a person smirk or even have that face talking about, about her son's unalive, just like on YouTube. So it's a lot going on. Somebody has to either talk or somebody's in it. Who's jealous of him? Who he had problems with? Who's the kids? Where's the list of all the people that was there? It's a lot going on with this case. Just keep it going.
Of his neck in one specific area. Why wasn't it pulling all the way down his neck? Or why just that one area? I don't believe that when you have been deceased that long, you've already undergone autopsy, they've drained the blood from your body, that somehow in the few hours of transport, you're going to get pooling of the blood to one area in the back of your neck.
So first off, it's not a few hours of transport. It's from whenever the autopsy ended. He's placed on his back. Whenever he's picked up at the scene, he's been placed on his back. So all that comes into play. They don't drain all the blood from the body at autopsy. There's still blood in the body after autopsy. And also decomposition causes the breakdown of tissues, including musculature, which can give a reddish decoloration from the actual decomposition process of the muscle. So all these have to be considered when you're saying a reddened area, because the doctor didn't call it hemorrhage, which is interesting to me. He called it a reddened area. So I don't know what he's describing. I would love to see pictures, but again, there's no description of a bruise or an abrasion or a laceration on the skin surface of the back of the head. So what the significance of this is? Could it be a decompositional change? Could it be something else like blunt force injury? It's hard to say at this point in time.
I find it very difficult to believe, Dr. Kendall Crowns, that not one, but two medical examiners cannot figure out why he had deep red subcutaneous markings. Subcutaneous, what is that? Deep subcutaneous, what is that?
It's underneath the skin, meaning in the fat or the muscle underneath the skin.
Okay. Straight out to John Mobley joining me out of Charleston. He's a renowned trial attorney.
Oh, man,
out
what
of
up,
John
what up, what
Mobley
up?
Law Firm. Okay, Mobley, have at it.
Well, Nancy, I got to call it like I see it. There are a lot of things that I don't like about this presentation. I think the first problem I see is they put out this autopsy and they kind of gave you a lot of sizzle. They gave a big dog and pony show, but they didn't really make it clear on the findings and conclusions and how they could be interpreted. And I think that's kind of the problem with this case.
All right, I'm pausing right now, so I'm trying to pause it every 2 minutes and shit. Boston, what up, Boston?
Hace que hola.
Shit. Hola, socio. Okay.
Salute to the chat, man. What's going on? Harvey Road, what's up? Society, what's up?
Shooter, what up, Shooter? Society, what up? Yeah, I'm talking about this little story right here. It's like, nobody has been arrested. Nobody's being questioned. Like, foul play. I see this as like foul play.
Did they get over the did they do a whole new autopsy yet?
That's what we're talking about right now. This is like the autopsy they're talking about.
Yeah, because they had to get they had to pay the original like somebody else from a different state. They had some questions and shit. They wasn't getting the answers. They seen that there was something fishy going on.
It's definitely fishy. Like, you're telling me that you go into this island, right? You're telling me you go into these islands. And this island that you go to, there's a boat that you have to go in. And in those boats, they have a login of the people that got inside that boat.
Right.
So you don't have to go crazy and search for people. You can always go into the logins, find out the people, what group of people, which you can see there's a lot of pictures out there with him and the different kind of guys out there, kids and shit. So why hasn't nobody been questioned? The girl that they said that was with him, it was supposed to be his friend. They were supposed to be jealous of the kid, some bullshit. Then they said there was a beef. He said somebody stole his phone and an argument. Like, this is all bullshit. Why hasn't nobody been questioned? Nobody has been arrested. Artie, what up? So, it's a lot going on with this shit. This is just weird. Like something, I don't know. Like, who is to say the kids that was in the boat with them was the one who did it? How would they know? They can't because nobody been questioned. So this case is like going cold. Then the autopsy just blew it up. It seems to be foul play. Yeah, Shooter, you want to pull up, Shooter? Come up and pull up. Get your little intel up in here. There's a lot going on with this. Just play, just stop it every 2 minutes and shit.
I see you, DJ, drink
They
a
put
lot.
all this.
Huh?
No, I was saying I see Artie in the chat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
My bad.
No, you go, yeah.
Stuff out there, all the legal terms, all this, forensic jargon, and now everybody's whipped up in a frenzy trying to understand what it means, speculating, guessing, and the reality of it is, unless you're an expert, a forensic expert, none of us are qualified to interpret those findings. Now, I've been involved in countless homicide cases where I've had to look at forensic autopsies and discuss the findings with experts. And that's what you have to do. And ultimately what it comes down to is they put this thing out there, this preliminary autopsy finding, and they did not present any real conclusions. And that is a problem. You know, and to address your specific concern, Nancy,
Put him up.
about
Put up
this
Mobley.
might be
Put up Mobley. Listen, I'm not vouching for the character of Crump or Sharpton. That said, of course, are you saying they were wrong not to put it out there? I think they were right to put it out there, whether it's inconclusive or not.
the manner in which they presented
Okay, what do you
it,
mean by that?
He just sat there and read it. And number one, I don't think he was the best person to read it. He's just kind of reading off medical and terms that he didn't do the best job of pronouncing. And they didn't really present a conclusive finding. And what that does is,
Well, there is no conclusive finding, Mobley.
He should have said that, because what he does, though, in the manner which it's presented, when you take a case like this, you take little bits and pieces and put them out there in that manner, what you're doing is you're feeding these conspiracy theories like, oh my God, there's some big mystery, some conspiracy about what happened, regarding saying, hey, here's the deal. In situations like this, based on the rate of decomposition, things like that.
Don't you get it, man? We still don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. He's got a red mark deep in subcutaneous tissue on the back of his head. Wait, go back to Kendall Purvis real quick. Wait. Kendall, where's Kendall? Why am I not seeing Kendall? Kendall, please turn around and show everybody what we're talking about, because I'm doing this. Show me occipital.
Occipital's right here. Back ahead.
How
right where your neck
in the world, out of his whole body, is that where the blood pools? I'm not buying it. And I'm not saying this is a homicide. I am saying it. There are a lot of disturbing circumstances surrounding this young man, the star athlete's death, and I am not letting it go. And I don't care how much hate mail you send me. I do not care. Okay, Mobley, what else?
What I want to state is that, and this is based on my experience being involved in numerous homicides, having examined numerous autopsies and discussed the case and the findings with numerous forensic pathologists. When you have a body, a human individual, okay, that person has experienced trauma in various physical trauma in various aspects of their life. They just had a picture of him being wearing a football uniform. He can sustain injuries playing football in practice, horse around with his friends. So, a person can die and have different injuries that pre-existed.
What I'm getting so far is these motherfuckers is talking about that because he played football. So you're telling me that those head injuries caused all of a sudden he just go to the island and he fell down and drowned?
They always put that shit as an excuse as for injuries and shit like that. They go real quick to say that it's been caused by football hitting, his head and shit too much on the ground. And
I mean, they ain't got no report of him catching any concussion in the football field. Like, where all this came from? It's crazy. It's like, she not buying it. I gotta hear what this man has to say, because he's making me feel like I just want to go across the street and slap him.
The date of the death that are completely unrelated to the death, but they are there on the body because they're a live, active individual. And that's the whole point about the fixation on the injury to the back of the head. I'm not saying that it was necessarily predate the injury, but there's got to be some medical evidence to tie it to his death. And there is not, because they can't do that. They cannot date that injury.
Okay, guys, you're hearing Mobley. I just lost the satellite. Get that back up for me. In the meantime, let me hear Crump talking about part of the neck structures and specifically the anterior, where that, I'm going to call it bruising. I'll call it a reddened area because we don't know what it was, were absent from the body. What happened to that part of the body? Listen to Crump.
So when they're buried, their remains will all be with them. But in this occasion, if there's going to be a second autopsy, then the organs are put in the body cavity, so the second pathologist could be able to examine the organs as well. Very significant for Dr. Mitchell was that the anterior inner neck structures were absent, not received with the body.
From our friends at NAACP. Okay, back to you, Kendall Crowns. And hello, I've got an all-star panel. Where are they? Did they lose their voices? Dr. Kendall Crowns, wouldn't it be important for the second medical examiner, second doctor, to be able to look at the anterior neck structure? They're absent and not received from the body, not received with the body.
That's
So, Shooter, what do you say, Shooter? You say, I think the girl's father has something to do with it. The girl's father, what? The girl that he was talking to in the beach and shit, in the island?
I mean, I don't know the ins and out, like with the full details about that shit. But like, you know what I'm saying? I just only caught on to where the mother and the parents was asking for to send the body out of state for a second opinion on an autopsy.
I mean, anybody would. Just like if you have a family member that's going to the doctor, I always give advice. I don't give medical advice because I'm not a doctor, and plus I can't do that. But I will always tell people that, you know, if you're going to the hospital and you're going for some type of treatment, always go to a second doctor or go to a different doctor or hospital, what I mean, and get a second opinion. It doesn't hurt because you never know. The way this government works.
A death certificate or the medical examiner and shit, they find out they examine the body and shit, and they file it as a normal death or whatever it is, and then a couple years later down or whatever, they look over the shit again, the sheet or the family, and they say that this shit is not adding up. Like, or it happens even in a funeral home. The examiner says something else, but you know, remember, they got to do an exam as well in the funeral home too. You know what I'm saying? So they might find like some bruising. They might find something like a broken something, trauma to the head or to something that could have caused, you know what I mean, a death. Not all autopsies are 100% accurate. That's why it's always good to go do a second opinion, even a third, if you got it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The girl in question, the girl who was in the last one to see him, but said she didn't see him. Yeah, everybody saw him, but didn't see him at the last. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, whoever got some information and details about this story, man, whoever, you know, followed up on it, definitely should.
I had a good article about what a kid put in social media, and I had it in my other history thing, and I couldn't find it. So I wanted to put that one up and shit. So a couple little details that they're not talking about. Let's see what these people finish talking.
correct. So it would be important, and that's often the problem with second autopsy is structures are kept by the initial medical examiner for further testing or further evaluation. So the second autopsy is often limited by this. So the problem is the neck structures we're talking about, hyoid bone, thyroid cartilage, laryngeal structures, are the structures that are often involved with strangulation. They can be taken by a medical examiner, dissected, evaluated for fractures or injuries or something of that nature, but then they're kept, and they are also then further evaluated by a forensic anthropologist who will look for microfractures and things like that to see if there's any trauma whatsoever. And that's probably what's occurring in this case, is they're doing their due diligence and looking at all those neck structures to rule out the possibility of a strangulation, and they haven't done it yet. And that's why they're still pending. And that's why the second examination can't give you more facts, because they don't have those structures to look at. Hopefully there will be sharing between the two medical examiners so they can both come to the same conclusion at some point. But right now, those structures are being evaluated by someone else and not available for the second autopsy.
I want to talk to you about what you just said. If I see deep reddening of the tissue in the back of the neck. I'm going to quit calling it the occipital. The back of the neck, at the lower part of the head. I want to know what happened up here. I want to know, was the hyoid bone, which is very fragile, it's not attached to anything, it's kind of floating there. And often in ligature, manual, any type of strangulation or stopping your airflow, you'll see that very delicate bone fractured. It's gone. Where is it? Everybody's got one. So where is it? Also, Crump stated that the portion of the neck, the interior portion of the neck that would correspond with the hemorrhaging in the back is missing. There are two ways to look at this. One is that it's missing because it's been hidden. It's being withheld from the second doctor. Why? The other way to look at it is what you suggested, Kendall Crowns, and that is that I've seen.
Why do I feel like this guy is smirking and shit on a case like this? I don't know. Just, I don't know. Just white people.
I don't know. Maybe
he's like hiding something. He's like getting on to something.
How she is explaining it. Maybe he has, a different way of how explaining it, and maybe that's his expressions, how he, express himself. I guess.
But how is it missing though? She's
right.
saying something.
Right. I'm saying that's weird. That's real weird right there.
So what is that? Normal? What is it? Does
No, ain't nothing supposed to be missing from your body.
I want to see what's
getting this done. The way that medical examiners and medical related forensic anthropologists do it, they get a tiny cut of that tissue. They put that under a microscope and they look to see if cells have bruising. It's very painstaking. Could they be doing that? I don't know. But it seems to me they would have included that in their notations that these portions of Nolan's body had been withheld for further testing, but we didn't hear anything about that. Straight out to Sam Crouppen joining us, investigative journalist and star of Samson's World.
Oh shit, up to your forehead.
But why didn't she let him answer the question she had for him?
I don't know, but I don't really like her. I don't think I'm too much.
That's weird.
But that is a question though. If all they had to do was just make a small little cut, like you said, and if they don't look into it, and the cells are like either bruised up, because every skin cell of your body, that once you put any type of pressure on it, you're gonna have a mark on it.
Right.
And she's saying like, why did they have to go through all that, take that out, and why is that even missing now? Okay. Who said it? She didn't let him finish answering the question, but that's what she does. She's very nasty. She interrupts people. She don't care. This woman right here.
She just cut him off and went to the next guy.
If you ain't never seen him before, oh my gosh.
No, I know.
Sam, did you hear anything about water in the lungs?
No, Nancy, I've heard nothing about water in the lungs. And honestly, I've just been sitting here infuriated that everybody is putting so much pressure on this second autopsy.
Let me just pause that for a quick second. Crook just wrote something too. Yeah, Crook. Or they feel that they know that person either got hit or even choked up. And like she said, if that piece is broken, that means it was pressure in it, so it was strangulation. So if you have that missing piece that would determine that was the cause of death, then you don't have no evidence, no nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So once you don't have that piece, you can't put that into evidence. Say, listen, this is what caused the death. You don't have it. But yeah, okay.
That thankfully Colin Kaepernick paid for. But why are we not putting pressure on Sheriff John Ledbetter? Where is the first autopsy? Why have they held it out? There is a video of two nurses who claim to have seen the transport of this body, and they said he was face down. So it's honestly, for me, it's just disgusting to see the lack of understanding.
Face down. What?
That's just like a straight disrespect for for a human
That's
body.
crazy. A body being what? What? When they do that in the morgue or when they do that in the hospital, once you like dead in the sheet, they flip you upside down. Like I mean, yeah, like
They flip you around.
I'm confused.
They've never do that. I've never heard or seen a deceased being carried away on a body bag or a stretcher laying face down.
Okay, that's weird. That's the first time me even hearing that. It's the first time me ever hearing that. But okay, first time for everything, like they said.
People commenting on how Ben Crump is reading, people saying Ben Crump is a race hustler. Like, he's the person who's responsible for justice for Ahmaud Arbery, who was killed by 3 racist people, and it was covered up. The medical examiner is well known for the death of Trey Reed, ruling it a homicide. She is known for ruling black deaths. She is known.
Wait. So you're telling me these people, the autopsy people and medical examiners are white power? Wait. I have to rewind this. It kind of fucked me up right now. Hold up.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. That could have been a little tip. You know what I'm saying? A little insight of what's going on.
I mean, because I mean, he's the only black guy I've seen in all these goddamn pictures. That's what I'm seeing. Is it me? Or I'm not trying to sound racist or nothing, but what the fuck? Okay, let me hear that shit again because that shit kind of like passed by me.
There is a video of 2 nurses who claim to have seen the transport of this body, and they said he was face down.
That's number one. That's weird right there. Right? That's weird. That's weird. Face down, right? That's weird. Okay.
So it's honestly, for me, it's just disgusting to see the lack of understanding. People commenting on how Ben Crump is reading. People saying Ben Crump is a race hustler. Like, he's the person who's responsible for justice for Ahmaud Arbery, who was killed by 3 racist people, and it was covered up. Stacey Turner, the medical examiner, is well known for the death of Trey Reed, ruling it a homicide. She is known for ruling black deaths. She is known. Stacey Turner.
Do I look like a witch stirring a cauldron tonight? I don't really.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Do anybody agree with me? Can she play a role of a witch with a big ass giant motherfucking spoon going around the motherfucking pot? Hell yeah. Yes, I can. Yeah, I honestly could. Hell
She looks like the one of the ladies from the movie The Witches.
From the is it Dalmatian?
The 3 witches. The 3 old ladies.
No, but it was one of them. She was like a witch in that movie. She was like, never mind. My granddaughter watches that shit. Okay, forget it.
See myself that way. Do not stir the pot, Crouppen, because this is not about politics. This is not what somebody did a long time ago in another case. This is about what we are learning tonight. Yes, and my question is, where's the original autopsy? My guess is that they are waiting on the results that Dr. Kilman Crowns just talked about and more. Hey, simmer down. I want to get to the facts. The facts of this case. I want to go back to Brian Trasher on that. Heather, I'm going to get to you in just one moment regarding the tracking of the phone and the Snapchat and all the digital footprint. But to you, Brian, again, let me pull it back up. We are not showing this photo. Do not show it, control room. Brian, again, United Cajun Navy searched for and spotted Nolan's body. Tell me what was seen. Let's see some of that aerial video.
Yeah, so we were flying over the northwest tip of Horn Island after about 2 hours in the air, canvassing a pretty large area. When we noticed some law enforcement boats converging to the northwest tip, we descended, circled around, and saw a number of law enforcement personnel on the beach, and then you could see a body laying on at the shoreline. Of course, using a zoom lens to go in, we could see that the body matched the description of Nolan Wells. The whole thing about Ben Crump mentioning that we told the parents he was fully clothed, that's not true. We never told the parents that. He was wearing just the swim trunks that matched the description that in the missing persons report, and it matched the photos that were taken of him that day, and that was all he was. That's
Hold
all
on
he
a
was wearing.
sec. Brian,
This guy.
Brian, I want to show some video. Oh, there it is. I hope you can see your monitor. That is our friends over at TMZ. It's the video that I believe is Nolan Wells. And I can tell you from looking at the aerial photo, I've zoomed in on it, those appear to be the same pants that he was wearing when his body was found. His body looks like it just washed up on shore.
Right.
Now,
That's correct.
regarding COD, yeah, when you look at it way up, it looks like he's wearing a shirt. But when you zoom in, you see he's not wearing a shirt, nor is he wearing shoes. Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. If you are a homeowner, you probably thought, should I call American Financing to refinance and pay?
Okay. Let's pause it for a quick second. Let me look at the chat real quick. Appreciate y'all pulling up and shit, coming by and shit. Don't forget to hit that like and shit. All right, yeah, I know. The body was received as found in foul play and stuff. Yeah, it is. Like, there's a lot of things going on with this case. Like I said, the autopsy it's a little fishy. The people that's handling the body, which you can see their backgrounds of what they spoke and what they say about the person. It's just a lot of fishy things going on. I believe that it was foul play. There's no way for a healthy black young man that plays sports and which you can see in the pictures and shit. He was in good health, skinny guy. I guess he was a good guy because what you could see, he had a lot of pictures with a whole bunch of people around him. But sad, this unfortunately happened to him, and they definitely need to find more answers to this. I think whoever was handling this case as the detectives and into homicide, murder, whatever you want to call it, right? They did a sloppy job. People was not interviewed. People was not looked as a suspect. People wasn't questioned. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that it just doesn't match up.
Where was this island at, Cool?
You said what?
Where was this island at? Was this in the country or out of the country?
What y'all could hear, that was like a little private island where people like reserve spots and shit like that. So,
in the US?
I'm not sure where the island was at. I definitely can find out for you while we play this
Because,
video.
if it's out of the states, in a different country, it's always something weird that comes across when it's a death.
Yeah, but I don't think it was in a different country now. I don't think it was in a different country,
Okay.
Forget about it. They would have had ICE agents all over the place and all that shit. Trust me. If that would have happened to a white chick and it would have been in another country, yeah, I think they would have had more pressure into it. And I'm not trying to, sound all prejudiced or anything like that. But time after time, in my experience, and me seeing it for myself, I have seen people of less color, right? Light color will get slapped in the wrist. Then instead of a brown man or a black man. It's been like that years after years. It hasn't changed. It might seem that things change, but basically, look at the government, how it's running. I don't see no change in it. But let's go on with the story. I don't want to talk about how I feel about this shit.
So much more. Dr. Kendall Crowns, isn't it true that in certain cases, and I learned this on an arson case, COD, cause of death, manner of death, as well, MOD, can also be determined at times based on what we call extrinsic evidence. For instance, in the arson case I'm talking about, the evidence that the perp checked the weather station, the weather report for the day the arson went down, it killed his wife, that he moved out all of his nice suits and family photos of his family, not his wife's family, all of his important tax documents, everything out of the house the day before the arson in which his wife was killed. Also, he called his insurance company and asked, hey, if I have a fire in my home, will you cover rental furniture? And then his house burned down the next day. The medical examiner looked at that evidence as well when determining MOD had been homicide. Isn't it true, my question, that a medical examiner will look at extrinsic evidence as well as what they see on the body itself?
Yes, all evidence is considered in an autopsy. You can't autopsy in a vacuum with no investigative information, no toxicologic findings. All you have is autopsy findings. You can make mistakes in not coming to the right conclusions about cause of death and really manner of death. So those findings are important. In the case you used, it's evidence that he had a plan, that he was taking actions to eliminate his wife, light his house on fire. That would play in the role into it. As far as arson, the arson investigation would be helpful. All that would be given to the medical examiner because the autopsy would show the individual died in a fire. And that's all the information I would be able to tell you. Without that investigative information, I wouldn't be able to tell you whether it was a homicide, suicide, accident, not natural, of course, because it's a fire. But again, investigative information is very important. And that is also probably why the Mississippi medical examiner is still taking their time. And even the DC medical examiner said more investigative information
Dr.
is
Kendall
needed.
Crowns, again,
Both of them
you're
are
the
saying
expert,
that.
not me. But let me just cut you off right there because the answer to that was yes, you do consider extrinsic evidence. That said, listen to this.
But I don't think that Nolan would say, hey, bro, I'm staying with this girl on the island. Y'all go ahead and go back. Like, not even asking to get his phone back. You know what I mean? I've never known Nolan to stay back while his friends leave. He's always been a guy where if he rode with you, he's going to come back with you. That's always how he's been every single time.
Christine, it's at one place, but for them on Snapchat, it showed another place. So that's the place we went to. And it showed that everybody that was in the house, it was like a lot of people there. So that's how we knew where to go to. We went there. They were all there. They were sitting there, lights off, watching TV. They gave me the phone, but it took about 15 minutes to get the phone because I
hear this shit.
Just great.
Teenagers, anybody. You know we don't go without our phones. You know we don't go nowhere without our phones.
That's true.
Why they hesitated too long to give her a phone back? Wait, let me go back a little bit. They
have to clear up whatever they got, you know, that's on the evidence. Especially activity.
To get his phone back. You know what I mean? I've never known Nolan to stay back while his friends.
Listen to this.
But I don't think that Nolan would say, hey, bro, I'm staying with this girl on the island. Y'all go ahead and go back. Like, not even asking to get his phone back. You know what I mean? I've never known Nolan to stay back while his friends leave. He's always been a guy where if he rode with you, he's going to come back with you. That's always how he's been every single time.
For Christine, it's at one place, But for them on Snapchat, it showed another place. So that's the place we went to. And it showed that everybody that was in the house, it was like a lot of people there. So that's how we knew where to go to. We went there. They were all there. They were sitting there, lights off, watching TV. They did.
So the phone was with a whole bunch of people there. How did that phone get there? Who gave her the phone? Because whoever gave her the phone knew where the phone was at. And if she knew where the phone was at, she must know where he was at. Does that make any type of sense? Is it me or does it sound crazy the way I'm thinking? I mean, if I'm sounding kind of crazy, it'll be like, nah, Cuba. Matter of fact, X. Call me X. Yeah. If I don't get it, like, who is the one who gave up the phone? Why is she being questioned? Like, who gave you the phone? He gave me the phone. Before he gave you the phone, who was with him last? Like, I don't know, man.
Right, they gotta be more. They gotta do more, researching on shit like that. Where was if the phone been tampered with, if there was any type of pin, the last call or text or anything like that. There gotta be some type of way more internal researching of that phone. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. The detective did a sloppy job because for some reason they haven't questioned nobody. How does a phone appears in somebody's house with a whole bunch of people there? You have a dead body, and nobody's being questioned.
Right.
No one's being questioned. Like, how does that work? That, like I said, if it was a white chick, say for instance, it was a white chick, right? Let's just say there was a white chick that got killed out there, let me not say killed, right? Let's say that same situation happened to him, and there was a whole bunch of brothers in the house, right? And the white chick's phone was in the house, and one of the dudes gave her the phone to the mother. Wouldn't the detective be like, "How did you get your phone? Okay, this person this gave me this phone. This is the house at." Wouldn't you go over there and question that person, that dude? Be like, "How did you get the phone from her?"
Of course.
DSL, what up, DSL? So it just don't add up. Is something fishy? Is somebody high up class with what's going on with that? I don't know, man. It just don't make no sense to me.
The story right now is a high profile story, so obviously it's catching a lot of attention and media and all that shit like that. So they got to be careful what they could put out there or what they want to expose and shit like that. So what I'm saying, like, down the road, it's going to be a lot of things put out there where, like, they fucked up on this or this one or this. Watch, it's still early in the what I'm saying. DSL, what up? It's still early in the case too.
It should have been more done to in this case so far.
No, it definitely should have been way more evidence presented, and the parents should have had way more information. But that's what's making the death looks looking suspicious.
I mean, it's suspicious itself that nobody knows where he was at. Nobody said, "Oh, he was drowning or an accident." Like, who goes there alone? He went with his best friend, one of his good friends. You're telling me when you in vacation time, y'all gonna be wandering off without telling nobody? Seriously, does that make any sense?
He was just there with with his friends, or he was there with his parents too.
Nah, he was there with his friends.
Oh, okay.
So my thing is that when you say, you ever been on vacation with a couple of friends of yours and shit?
Yeah.
Okay, but you ever been in a place that you never been at and you just wander off without telling somebody, "I'm gonna go over here"?
No, I'm not gonna wander off anywhere. Like, if I go to anywhere, a club, or if I'm going somewhere, I'm with.
You tell somebody. Yes,
we're going together, and I'm not.
Yo, I'm going to the beach. I'm gonna check out the shore. I'm going to the what you call it, to the fucking boardwalk. I'm going to the bar. I'm going to here. It has to, like, people just don't wander off like that. I mean, come on, make that make sense. They're saying the kid had a red mark on his head. Oh yeah, DSL. We just watched the examiner talk about it. It was like a blunt object in the back of his head. So they're making it seem. People are saying that may cause from him playing football. I think that's an excuse. Like, I don't believe he never. I never heard of any of injuries of him having in football and having any concussion in football. But they could be like, oh, but Cuba, some people, they call concussion and they never reported it, or they never completely blanked out and even, went in and checked it out. I understand, but what I'm saying is that if you in the goddamn island, you're gonna tell somebody where you're going at. You just don't wander off and nobody knows what happened to you. Like, somebody saw something. Somebody definitely saw something or knows something.
Right.
Okay, that's just me.
They gave me the phone, but it took about 15 minutes to get the phone because I even asked, I'm like, did y'all have to walk back to Horn Island to get the phone, or like, where's the phone? Because it took so long when they said it was when Wyatt told me it was in his truck. It took him so long to get the phone back to me.
You are seeing friends.
So the phone was inside a truck and they had to bring it over here? Huh? Who leaves their phone with somebody? Was the body found over there and they took his phone? Like, okay.
All that shit's gonna come out. It has to come out.
Somebody's gonna get nervous. Somebody's gonna tell.
Of the Wells' family speaking on Laura Coates Live. Okay, I want to talk about the phone issue. And again, I don't want Nolan to be dead at all. I want this to be an accidental death. But I am not turning a blind eye to concerning aspects of this investigation. In the end, it may turn out to be accidental. But why would you leave Nolan there? Why would you say your boat was sinking?
Wait. I don't believe that. No. Okay, say for instance, it was. I mean, like, if you drown, you must have been in somebody's boat that you was in, that you went into some hollow water and drowned. Number one, I don't think you're going to go inside the water from the beach and go all the way far and then drown there without telling nobody going to the beach. Like, you go alone. Who goes alone to the beach when you got a whole bunch of people? Nah, that shit don't add up. It just don't fucking add up. Nah, it just don't.
And then take multiple more trips in the boat that night, according to reports. So many of the facts are not lining up. But first, let's.
Yeah, say for instance, right? So the GPS or whatever his phone is saying that the shit was going back and forth, right? So in that one boat that was going back and forth, that means they must have threw his body in the water after they did what they did, and his phone was in the boat.
Right. Like,
What?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just throwing some shit out there. Like,
Right.
I'm just throwing some shit out there.
Start with a digital footprint. To Dave.
What was that, boss? I'm sorry, my bad.
I said if they would have put the body in the ocean whatnot, and he had the phone on him, the phone would have been fucking would have had the water damage in it.
Crazy, it's crazy. Shit's crazy. Shit just don't make no goddamn sense, man.
Joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter. What are they saying about the phone?
Well, the family.
Yo, she does look like a little Chucky doll here. You tripping? Let me see something. She look like
what?
She look like come on.
Says that when they were able to finally retrieve the phone, okay, they get there to get the phone back and have to wait 15 minutes outside while the young people who had the phone for some reason took their time getting it to them. And when they did, when they got
I don't see
phone,
that as a problem.
no, well,
I don't see that as a problem.
That,
they're teen boys. They got to go outside and they've got to get the phone out of the truck. What I see as the problem is the phone is there and he's somewhere else. Porter, what are they saying about the phone?
well, the family says that when they were able to finally retrieve the phone, okay, they get there to get the phone back and have to wait 15 minutes outside while the young people who had the phone for some reason took their time getting it to them. And when they did, when they got
I don't see
phone,
that as a problem.
no, well,
I don't see.
Of course not. You don't.
I see it. I do see it as a problem. How are you gonna say you don't see it as a problem? You have a dead man phone. Does that not sound crazy?
You're touching evidence.
But does that not sound crazy that you have a possession of a person's dead body's item? I mean, does that not sound crazy? Like, when do you see him? How do you have this? When did he give it to you? What time? Where at? Questions like that. This shit pissed me off. Yeah. This shit, hold on. Somebody's in the back right now. It's Brooke. Crook, what up, Crooks? I need to take a deep breath right now because this is like, where's my high blood pressure pills at? Goddamn. Where's my goddamn high blood pressure pills? Let me look for them shits at. Where them shits is at? God damn.
BC, what up, man?
What up, one?
Yeah, it don't take 15 minutes to get a phone. Okay?
What up, brother?
It don't take 15 minutes to get a phone unless you're going through the phone trying to look for information you need to erase.
Your mic is low or you're talking low?
Yeah, he's real low. Let me see if I can raise his mic for some reason because his shit is low. Hold up.
I'm in the kitchen. I have the phone on the counter. Can you hear me better?
You're clear, but it's just not low.
Let me see. Try now.
It's like a robot now.
Hold on.
There you go.
Now, you should be good now.
I just want to double check some shit. Okay.
You good, Crook?
Okay.
Come up here.
Yeah. I just had to fix your mic up a little bit. I had to raise it up a little bit.
No doubt. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Like I was saying, 15 minutes with the phone. I'm not quite sure how far the individuals had to go to retrieve the device. They said they had to go out to the vehicle. But even with that being the case, a 15-minute wait period, it's kind of suspicious because for me, that would each introduce the ability or the opportunity to open the phone, go through the phone, go through whether it be call history, the gallery, whatever the case may be, text messages, to erase information. You understand? There would be an opportunity for manipulation. But even with that, law enforcement or forensic experts will be able to determine if anything was done to the phone when they retrieved it. Because every action, most people don't know this, every action on your phone is logged. Every action.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that phone has a log, and if they provide a time period, they can access the log for that time period or for that day for every action that took place on that phone.
But what you can see is that I feel a little not comfortable with that because of the autopsy. The people that did the first one, the history, it's not so great. So, you know, there's a lot of things missing. They said
No,
things are
I
missing.
understand it. And I mean, listen, you have to understand the broader context of what's going on here. Clearly something happened, and clearly something happened with an odd member of the group. We'll just use that term. More than likely, these kids are from prominent families in the community. You understand? So you got a whole bunch of rich kids going out to party, and the only black guy that is their friend winds up dead. And so,
So can you agree with?
And so what
So
you
can
have
you?
is a bunch of white rich kids left to explain what happened to the only black guy that was with you. You know what I'm saying?
So can you agree with me? Do you think it's foul play?
I do believe it's foul play, but
Okay.
it has yet to be determined
Why?
the mode of injury or the location in which the injury occurred. I believe the medical examiner said there was no fluid found in the lungs to indicate drowning. Right?
Right.
Okay. So with that being the case, that tells me two things. Either the incident happened on shore
And
they left him there, or the incident because they had possession of his phone, or the incident happened on the ship and he was already deceased and not breathing when they threw him overboard and he washed up on shore
he got
at the beach.
panic.
Right. Because in either case, you know, if there's no fluid in the lungs, that means he's not breathing. That either happened on shore or it happened on the boat, and they threw him overboard, panicking, realizing he's not breathing.
I said the same thing too. I think they threw him off that boat. I'm just saying. I'm not.
Even if that is the case, now you're going to have to determine exposure. The medical examiner will determine the amount of exposure to water, and that's based upon whether he was in the water for an extended period of time and washed ashore, or was his body affected by the tidal cycle that may take the island, based on where he was found on the beach. You understand what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. They found him on shore, right?
Well, that's what they say. Yes.
Okay, that's what they say. I'm just saying. I'm going by what they saying, right?
Right.
Okay, so far they found them on shore. Now they said that they didn't find no type of water in his lungs, right?
That's what I believe they said. Yeah.
Okay, so something, an incident must have happened. If it wasn't the drowning, because they didn't find no water in it, an incident, a fight, somebody told him meet him there, somebody snuck from behind him, hit him one time, made it seem like he drowned. Like I say, Crook, if you go on vacation, you're not gonna go alone to certain places.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You're not going alone. You're not waking up out of there this morning. I know vacation, everybody wakes up early to start, going to places and stuff like that. You're not just gonna walk out and just go by yourself and not tell no one. And number two, the phone. We don't leave without our phones.
Right.
These kids. Come on, Crook. These kids, if we let them eat in the table with their phones, they'll do it.
Right.
You understand? So it's a thing that that just don't match up to me. I'm just saying. I might sound a little crazy, but it just don't match up.
No, you don't sound crazy. You're recognizing the customs of the times and the behaviors of the times. You don't sound crazy at all.
What about the bullshit with the little excuse they were saying about the football that might cause the injury to that? What are your thoughts about that? I thought in football you usually would get hit from the front, not from the back of the head. But okay, just what are your thoughts about that?
Well, to be hit, I mean, this guy, whoever threw the football would have to be the next Joe Montana, in my opinion, or Dan Marino, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? For that type of damage to even be considered, and I've heard nothing of the sort. So, you know, it's.
Oh, you didn't hear it from the beginning of the video when I played it?
What do you mean? That whoever was throwing the football is the next Dan Marino or Joe Montana?
No.
The hell are you talking about, man?
I'm talking about the guy that was explaining about the injury that it might cause from the football.
That is far. For me, that's a far-fetched notion.
I said the same thing. It just don't make no sense.
We're not gonna give that any serious consideration.
Yeah. That's why I skipped. That's like, nah, this man is crazy. But
this dude's pulling shit out of his ass for a check. That's what he's doing.
No one charged, no official suspect, no one has been named. Definitely no.
Listen, it's my firm opinion that none of them should have been released until answers were had. Like none of them. All of them should have remained in custody. You know, I understand that sometimes police they utilize, especially dealing with young people in this day and age, they'll utilize a catch and release strategy in which they'll keep a certain level of surveillance on them when they release them, because they'll begin to talk amongst themselves. You understand what I'm saying? Which would then give clues as to what happened during the course of whatever events. So I understand that to some degree, but I'm a firm believer if something happened, then everybody's going to sit tight
Something transpired.
Until we find out what's going on.
What? Nothing's gonna happen.
But I guess due to the very nature of who these children's parents may be in the community, that may not have been an option. You know what I'm saying?
It just don't make no sense how nobody been charged, nobody been questioned.
Well,
no one has been questioned. Like,
well, it's kind of hard to charge and question when you still don't know how he passed. That's why the medical examiner's report is so important. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand, but let me throw this back at you, right? So you're saying that the mother went and got the phone from the house. She had to wait 15 minutes to get the phone because they had to go and get it from the truck and bring it over there, right?
Right.
What the fuck was the phone doing over there? And why nobody was questioning, how did you get this phone?
I believe those questions may come if they haven't been answered already.
Like I said earlier on my show, if it was a white female chick, that they would have found her dead in the beach, and they would have went into a whole bunch of people's house, like they said there was a whole bunch of groups in the house.
Right.
And say, for instance, the girl is white.
Right.
They go to the Airbnb, whatever, a whole bunch of dudes that went from college or whatever, like they were, and they was all black. Right. Now they go to get the phone You telling me detectives not gonna ask one dude in there, how did you get the phone?
Well, come on, man. You listen. I know what you're alluding to. I know how you're framing it. And I'm not saying that you're off. I'm not saying that you're wrong at all. We all know that we live in a polarized society, in which there are forms of classism, are forms of racism, are forms of tribalism or clanism. We are aware of the existence of the things that separate us or that have us to work against one another. We are aware of that, regardless of what your occupation may be, whether it's everything from janitorial to law enforcement. We are fully aware of the things that hinder us or divide us. But like I said, from my viewpoint, you may be looking at it as the police are covering it up, and I may not necessarily disagree with you, but then you would have to ask the question, why would the police cover it up? And if I told you, it's not because they hate or they're racist or anything like that, it's because they know that those children belong to very rich families in that town. And you just don't do or say reckless things against those people.
Nope, because in order to speak to my kids, you're going to have to see my lawyer first. You better have some evidence to come even question my kid.
And when these people may be the people for which, your town even exists, you got to be careful.
Yep.
Because mind you, none of you have been told, with all of this happening, none of you have been told who those children are or who their parents are. And I think that was done intentionally. Because if they release that, you're going to automatically come to the conclusion that, oh, this highly important motherfucker and that highly important motherfucker and da-da-da. You're going to immediately draw the conclusion that there's
nobody knows nothing.
You're going to automatically draw the conclusion that there's a cover-up going on. So, kind of like now, with Epstein and all this stuff. There's not everybody in this country believes that everyone in the government right now is a part of this Epstein thing. It doesn't matter who it is. Every American believes that every person has a role in that their name is somewhere in that Epstein file. Every person in America believes that every entertainer is on that Epstein file. And like I said, it's a class thing. And so these things have a life of their own sometimes. And sometimes, they withhold information. What actually makes them more suspicious in what they're doing, because they know already the moment we tell you who these kids' parents are, that these are rich people, you're automatically going to assume that law enforcement is covering up for the rich parents. There you have it, friend. It's not really hard. It's not really rocket science. But the thing about it is that we need to get to the root cause of what what caused Mr. Nolan's untimely demise. We need to know that. And then once we know the mode by which he lost his life, now we can get to who was the culprit, who was involved. You understand? Step by step.
This world is crazy, man.
But you know, it's just like I tell my children, you know, everybody don't love you, you know. I don't care how much they smile in your face. That don't mean they love you. So be careful.
Yeah, I was just doing a little history right here, trying to figure out his friends, whose the family is and shit. You got me thinking right now, real quick and shit.
No doubt, brother. That's what those machines are for.
Yeah, so let's see. So one of his, well, I guess his best friend spoke out and shit.
Yeah, but his best friend seems like a, you know, like a Spanish dude.
Yeah, I see.
But if that's his best friend, even his best friend isn't one of them. You understand what I'm saying? And that's probably why they were best friends. Because let's not pretend like we don't know how that gets down. If you hang around them and that uppity class, oh yeah, they are all cool together. You understand what I'm saying? But you're Latino and you're black. You understand?
All right, so what you can see is Nolan 18 was on a trip with friends to Horse Island, right? That's a miss. Hey, calm down.
And I'm not saying any of this to shade any, you know what I'm saying, white people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying any of that to shade them. You know, they are our brothers and sisters as well. Those who despise the colorism and the categorization of people via color, salute to them. You understand? For overcoming and you know, downing that philosophy and teaching in hopes of creating a better, more unified world. But unfortunately, it's still a prevailing practice and belief.
His best friend said that says well, friends.
Diamond Shooter, you are absolutely correct. There would be riots in the street. More than likely, young black men would come missing, and we'd have another wave of suspicious hangings. Believe it or not.
They was climbing up from the tree and they got caught up with some rope and they fell down. Right? That's what they would say, right?
Something to that effect. They took their own lives, is what they would say.
Yeah, that I heard that same news about 2 years ago about the back to back. But yeah, so his best friend said that they was heading back to the mainland. Then they claimed that no one wanted to stay behind because he met a girl. He didn't return that night or 2 days later. So if he left with that girl, he must have had possession of the phone. Who is that girl? Nobody knows.
This is what I'm saying. The girl would have to be in the phone. You know he gonna take pictures of her. And they keep saying that girl as the listen. I don't believe that all of them are so unfamiliar with one another that they didn't know who that girl was. They're just not wanting to name her. Like I said, this is small. Listen, dog, that was the thing about me coming out of Brooklyn. Yo, listen, we know how we get down in New York City. We know how the city operates. In Miami, same shit. You could be in Miami. Miami's a big city, but in certain circles, it's a small world. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yep.
And so small towns operate very similarly.
Oh,
The
yeah,
only
very
thing is less people, but the politics are still the same. The politics are even
Everybody
worse.
knows
Put
your
it that way.
business in the neighborhood.
corrupt.
Right.
And more
The
corrupt.
politics are worse. You
Shit.
understand what I'm saying? So
Fuck
I
around
have
with
a
their
feeling.
generation after generation. They know they own.
Exactly.
The police
Exactly.
officers with picnics and barbecue and no Joe and little Timmy. You know, get the man. Y'all better be careful. Y'all better do your own research when y'all go to
This is what I'm
certain.
saying about these small towns, right?
Yeah,
So
y'all
I
better
have
know.
a feeling. I have a feeling that they keep talking about this girl he wanted to hang out with. I have a feeling that there's no way possible that all of them, being his friends, would not know who this girl was. This ain't gonna be some mermaid that just come out the ocean. You understand what I'm saying? They know who this person is. They're just not saying because they probably know who her family is.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous. It's going to save
That
more.
island, what they call it an island, is like a sandbar. You understand what I'm saying?
It's called Horns Island, I believe. Was
Yeah,
that the
it's
name
not.
of it?
I wouldn't even consider that an island, man. That's just a sandbar. It's just an overgrown sandbar that's there. You could park up. You could dock your boat. You could swim to the shore. You know what I mean? Whatever. Lounge on the beach there, and then go back to the boat and gone.
Just go
You
ahead
know what I
and
mean?
fish.
All right, I'll be right back. Let me go and let my dog out this room real quick. I'll be
I
right
think
back.
it's all fishy. I think it's all fishy to me, man.
Something fishy. I'll be right back though.
They sure did went. They sure went fishing, all right.
So, like I said, man, I think it's more small town politics in play here than anything else. To just be completely honest. And sadly, small town politics is some of the most corrupt business in America. It is what it is.
Right. Yeah.
It's not something you could get away with in a metropolitan area. You know what I mean? You're not getting away with that type of nonsense in the city.
Hell.
So,
You know what I'm saying? Either their parents got some, you know what I'm saying, some heavy duty money, and you know what I mean, that there has to be some type of, you know, politics, something has to do with it that's higher than just them, you know, the kids and the parents and you know whatever all that. That's I don't know. 'Cause I still haven't seen it saying that where was this
listen, man, I've been in
where was
some of
this
the.
island at?
In my younger days, man, I've been in some of those circles, man. I know how it goes. I know exactly how it goes.
He's easily like what in his early mid teens.
Yeah, mid-teens, early. Well, they was older than that. I think what they said it was between 16 and 20, right?
Gotta be. You know what I'm saying? So like you know what I mean like uh, he definitely you know
I've done that shit, my nigga. I've been boating with people and all kind of thing in my early days and all kind of shit. You know, party with these people those kids back in those days. Those kids was doing the high end shit. You know what I'm saying?
That white boy wasted parties.
There you go. Beer pong. On a whole different scale.
A whole different scale. I mean, that shit now everybody's problem.
They playing beer pong with champagne, nigga.
Champagne, they're playing that shit with Belvedere champagne.
Champagne.
Champagne. You know, the fizzle, hizzle, shabba-dizzle, manizzle. But, you know.
Upstairs was reserved for private moments only.
That's me, yeah, man. That's absolutely correct, yeah, man.
Just trying to tell you, man, it's a thing. It's a thing for real.
I still got motherfucking my New Year's and from 2 years ago, my motherfucking champagne.
Man. It's a lifestyle, dog. It's a lifestyle. And some people live it for real all the time.
Don't tell me you fucking cooking at this time.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
I told you. I told y'all in the chat I was frying some shrimp. Why you bothering?
I know you.
I get my dog some water. That motherfucker thirsty. We're in the kitchen cooking it up. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm saying he said. I thought I heard him say he was in the kitchen. That's why now I hear pots and shit clicking around.
Well, you should be my neighbor then.
Neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Come over and eat.
That motherfucker got some motherfucking fort. He got some motherfucking. You ever seen that movie with the zombies? That was called Zombie X or Zombie something.
That's what you would think.
That motherfucking his yard is the fucking shit was mad tall. The wall.
Excuse me, man. I got to
Anybody
toss
look over your fence around your yard?
Nah. Everybody mind.
Nah, right. It's covered all the way up, right?
No. There's a privacy fence. Yeah, there's a wooden privacy fence that covers our properties. And I like to I thank the fact that most people mind their business. You know, I ain't checking for them. They ain't checking for me.
Yeah, cool. He got some pizza rolls hanging on. Pizza rolls warming up.
Yeah. Pizza rolls.
What's up? What's going on? Is they talking about the kid or what?
Now I'm letting y'all talk and shit. You talking about pizza roll? I don't fuck with no pizza roll. It's just nasty to me.
Nah, I'm just fucking around with Crook. I don't know what. I don't know what the fuck he's cooking over there.
I told you already, nigga. But don't worry. I won't.
I didn't hear you, brother. You're talking like you fucking Barry White.
Let that man chef it up with some goddamn shrimps.
That's the problem. They're teen boys.
Oh shit.
They got to go outside and they've got to get the phone out of the truck. What I see as the problem is the phone is there and he's somewhere else. Who leaves their phone behind? Who leaves their phone behind when they're on a desert island, stranded on an island? Why would you go without your phone? That's what sparked my interest, Dave Mack.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood where you were headed with it, but here's the catcher is that Nolan was always taking pictures, Nancy. And so the part about this that really gets home is that he always had his phone to take pictures and was always uploading. He was very active in those pictures being published online. And when the family actually got his phone, it had been cleaned. There was no Instagram that could
Kuba, stop right there. Kuba, stop right there. What did I say?
Man, that kid was nice and fit and everything. He was nice and fit, man.
Who leaves their phone behind when they're on a desert island, stranded on an island? Why would you go without your phone? That's what sparked my interest, Dave Mack.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood where you were headed with it, but here's the catcher is that Nolan was always taking pictures, Nancy. And so the part about this that
what did I say? I said when it took 15 minutes to retrieve that device, that tells me that is ample opportunity to wipe that phone. You understand? To get rid of photos, to get rid of text, to get rid of images, to get rid of anything on that phone. I said that. And now he just said when they turned the phone over to the parents, the phone was wiped.
Oh, how'd you get in this pay? I ain't got in this phone. Well, let me break it to you.
No. You could factory reset a phone from nowhere.
No. Frank, let me give you an easy one, Frank. Don't you need face recognition on fingerprints?
No,
don't you need just
not,
the body?
not the factory reset a phone.
Not to reset a phone.
You could factory reset your phone from the opening screen. Especially if the phone is locked. Especially if the phone is locked.
Okay, you talking about, all right, so iPhone is different. Okay, so iPhone is different compared to Android. All right, so iPhone, you cannot reset your phone?
Bro.
It's not that easy.
Hold on one second.
What you mean it's not that easy? Can't you go to settings and put it back to factory reset?
Not if you have face recognition.
But if you have his dead body, all you gotta do is open the phone and put it in his fucking face.
I don't know. It depends.
They didn't have his dead body. What are you talking?
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. Maybe you know what I'm saying. You have to have your.
So how the phone was over there and his body was over there 2 days? He was gone 2 days. Is that not enough time to bring the phone back and forth 4 or 5 times?
The phone is gonna bring out a lot of information.
Right. The phone would have a lot of information. Give me 2 minutes.
Good debate here, y'all.
All right. Let me play this shit one more time ahead.
Really gets home is that he always had his phone to take pictures and was always uploading. He was very active in those pictures being published online. And when the family actually got his phone, it had been cleaned. There was no Instagram or Snapchat that had been removed. It was gone.
Well, wait, hold on. Let me understand something, Dave Mack. You say there was no Snapchat, no Insta. It was gone. You mean it was all gone or just gone for that day?
Just for that day, Nancy. They suspect that based on that other messages or media may have also been deleted.
Okay. All right. That's all I want to hear right now, Dave Mack. I'm going to an expert that knows more than me and you put together, Dave. Heather Barnhart is with a digital forensics expert with Celebrite and the SANS Institute, one of the digital forensic investigators in the Kohberger case that cracked that wide open. She is co-author of Practical Mobile Forensics in its 4th edition, which means a lot of people are using it to teach and reading it. Her blog, smarterforensics.com. I could go on. Heather Barnhart, thank you for being with us tonight. Number one, can you look at a phone and determine if items were deleted?
Absolutely. And Nancy, here's a huge thing to think about. I assume his phone had a password. There are certain things that you need the password to do, such as delete activity. But if you don't have a password and you pick up your phone, if you're touching the screen, that leaves a trace. If you're trying to power it off, that leaves a trace. So we should be able to see people without a password trying to actively interact with that phone as well as someone that has it.
So how can you look at a phone, Heather Barnhart, and determine the difference between no photos were taken that day? Also, can you take photos even if you don't have reception? I think you can, but I'm not an expert. How can you look at a phone and determine no photos were taken that day as opposed to
Okay, I had to stop the video and shit, trying to talk about it. So which you can see that the phone was tampered with. I mean, why would he delete those apps or messages or something like that? Like that shit don't make no sense.
I think the kids.
My question goes back to it.
But my question is, who was the people that had his phone? But, all right, let them talk.
Is it what?
I'll let-
Go ahead.
Items were deleted because can't you delete from the deleted file?
Yes, you can do everything you just talked about. But again, all of that leaves a trace. So we would do a forensic acquisition, and that's really important here. Someone just looking in the phone, you can get a glimpse, but you can't see what's deleted and hiding below the surface. We need a forensic acquisition to do that. We can tell if it was just soft deleted, so like sitting in a trash can, or a hard delete. So if you empty your trash on your phone and then you go and throw it into a dumpster and the trash is taken away, there is a log that tracks everything. Also with timestamps on when that activity occurred.
Okay, I need that broken down in regular people talk. We're not all experts. Could you say that so
You should be.
everybody can understand?
You got a smartphone.
Yeah. So let's say Nolan had an iPhone. He could take pictures without cell service at all. Cell service and Wi-Fi do not matter. He could even post them to Instagram or to Snapchat, and they'll sit in a temporary directory until he has service. Sometimes that fails, but we still see that activity when we do forensics. If you delete a picture, Nancy, it sits in a recycle bin on your iPhone, and you can recover that for about 30 to 40 days as a normal user. If you empty that trash, it's not recoverable, but we doing forensics can still find it.
Exactly.
Okay, so you mean it's not recoverable for me, a layperson, but you can.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of people, I remember I did a video and they told me, Cooper, you are wrong. You know, when you delete the files, you can't find them. They gone, this and that. I said, listen, understand on this. There's no such thing as delete on your phone. There ain't no goddamn delete on your phone. So if you want to believe it, you go right ahead and believe that there's not bad.
No, it's all good. And let me tell you something. The process by which they recover those files is not cheap. It is not cheap at all. For a 256 gigabyte hard drive to recover the data was going to run me between $5,000 and $7,000 just to recover the data from misaligned drives because it had dropped. $5,000 to $7,000. And that's why that process is professional and not just something you can do at home. From 256 gigs.
Definitely go on.
Recover it. Even the pictures, even the content of the text or snaps, you can recover that.
If you get a full file system acquisition, and I realize that's really nerdy, but this is where acquisition and time to evidence matters. Deleted data exists and sits there for a period of time. So time to evidence is everything here.
How long will it sit there?
If it's an iPhone, it's a little bit different than Android. iPhone, Apple's more forgiving and you have about 30 days. With Android, you could have just a few days until location artifacts are purged.
You mean, okay, a few days, do you mean 1 day, 2 days, 10 days?
It could be between 1 and 7 on Android. But with iPhone, it's typically about 7 to 30 days.
7 we're safe. 1 we're not safe. Okay. And what I'm referring to is if you did have an Android, can I recover if there were photos, snaps, text deleted? That's what I'm trying to find out, because if somebody's deleting texts and emails and snaps and pictures, I got a problem. Why delete? That is my problem. Now, here's my next question. I'm sure I'm going to say it very inarticulately, but I think you'll know what I mean. Even if you cannot recover, let's pretend it was an Android. Even if you cannot recover the actual item itself, can you see a log that says something was deleted?
Yes, but it depends on the activity. So Snapchat will be tracked differently than a regular photo versus a regular text message. But deep dive forensics will recover the truth. And you mentioned Brian Koberger. There was nothing. All that data was cleaned up and deleted, but the lack of data and the time on when it was removed was huge in the investigation. And that could be huge on proving the last time Nolan actually used the device versus people taking steps with it and walking around with it when it was out of his possession.
Okay. Number one. You're brilliant. Number two, regarding Snap being in one place, Life 360 being in another place, what can you tell me about that?
Shit, was I muted there for a second?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so like I said, for people to understand what she was trying to say is that it's like GPS, meaning the last time he made a phone call, they're gonna find out where was the location, where was it moving to. They're gonna find something off of that shit. Go ahead.
Think of each application as having its own folder or a container. So all the things you do in that application exist in that container. A full deletion would be throwing that container away. So nothing's there. Sporadic deletion would be removing one thing at a time or deleting a most recent story or a post. And that stands out drastically to forensic examiners because it's uncommon behavior based upon what Nolan would typically do on his device.
Straight out to Sam Crouppen joining us, investigative journalist, star of Simpsons World. You have thoughts on the phone?
Yeah, Nancy, here's the thing. Everybody keeps saying that you keep your phone on the boat when you go into the water. We can all agree that makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is when his friends leave him, he's not going to not get his phone to take with him. Who in their right mind would get stuck on an island without their phone? It makes zero sense to me at all. And then also the fact that all of his friends deleted all their social media accounts. They haven't spoken to anybody. As far as I know, they didn't go to the funeral. It makes people.
Like I said, man, they all in on it.
Pause that for a second. Pause that for a second. Pause that for a second. So all his friends that was there, they all deleted their social media. They never attended the funeral. Who are these people?
They're all in on it, man.
Who are these people? Now I'm gonna have to do a part 2. What friends loses a friend and they all delete their profiles?
The
Something's
friend,
not adding up.
it's the friend that wants to be their friend more than they want to be your friend.
No, I don't want them to be my friend. I want them to be somebody else's friend. Oh shit! This is wild. This is wild.
Believe that they are hiding something.
You're on cross-examination. Who is our next sponsor? Well, here is a. Okay, listen to this.
He said, "Hey, Miss Christine, have you seen Nolan or talked to Nolan?" I said, "No, I thought he was with you guys, you know." He's like, "No, nobody's talked to him. We left the island at, I think he said 3 p.m. and he wanted to stay because he was talking to a girl named..."
Wait.
When they going to get to the fight? Where Nolan was asking why somebody had his phone. When they going to get to
That was debunked already.
What happened?
That was debunked already.
Debunked by what?
The phone that they said that it was his voice was not his voice.
It was his friend saying, no, that was me?
The friend that they did you hear that he got into it? That's what you heard, right?
Yeah.
So what they're saying, it wasn't even him that was into the argument or the back and forth.
It was the friend.
Yeah, the friend. That's what they're saying.
That's what they say.
That's what they're saying.
Okay, all right.
That's what they saying. I can't say nothing wrong. I'm just saying that's what they saying. But if you asking me what you think, you asking me what do I think or what they say? This is what they saying. I'm going by what they say. It's not. I will give you my comment about it, like what you think I'm saying, but that's what they saying. Just want to clear that
brother,
up. You know?
Brother, you know where I'm going with this.
I know.
It's what is it that we know, and what are they saying?
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
That's all that is. That's all that is.
Katie. Katie is also missing. No one can find her.
You hear that, right? Crook, you heard about the girl, right?
No. Run it again.
Remember, someone who is this girl, right? Well, so far her name is Kate, right?
Katie.
Yes.
That's an interesting name.
Okay. Okay, so
I knew a Katie. Once. She used to play softball.
Katie used to play the guitar in my school.
Matter of fact, and she was from Fort Myers. Yeah, she was from Fort Myers. She used to play softball.
Okay. So.
And he wanted to stay because he was.
Because he wanted to stay because a girl named. Okay, so far, right? Watch this.
Talking to a girl named Katie. Katie is also missing.
Katie is also missing.
Oh, wow.
So she's missing. Who's looking for her? Who's her parent? Who's Kate parents that's missing too? First they found a young kid dead. Now a girl name is missing. Now a girl is missing, but nobody's looking for Katie. Now I ain't hearing about no Katie.
But check this out, dog.
I'm hearing you. Yeah, talk to me. Let me hear something.
All right. That name in those communities is as common as Smith.
Like coming on to the Bronx. Oye, José, ¿cómo tú estás, José? ¿Todo está bien? Todo está bien. Oye, amigo. Sí, okay, vamos para allá. Yeah, one of those.
That name is as common as Smith.
Yeah, I understand. I know.
You understand? So that is saying absolutely nothing.
It's saying nothing, but how they're saying that she's missing, right? And no one's looking for her. But let's keep on what she says. I don't know. I didn't see this.
No one can find her. And the explanation of no one.
God damn it, let me pause the shit. No one can find her, so no parent is looking for her daughters and been missing, knowing that their daughter went to that same island. Why is no other search going for that female?
Because she's missing to them, not to the parents.
Oh, okay, to them. Okay.
That could be like a distraction right here.
Okay, yeah, it is. But the question still remains: if she's missing, who's her parent? Why nobody's looking for her? Those are the questions I want to know. But they can't find her. Yeah, okay, they can't find her. No, so if they can't find her, they can't question nobody. And if nobody comes in forward about they saying their child is missing, then they don't have no lead, no person, nobody. So it's like a ghost. Yeah, a ghost. They should have named her Ghost. Yeah, that's what she is, a ghost. Okay.
Knows this Katie like we've never met her type of deal.
How would they know Katie's missing if they didn't even know who Katie was?
See this? I swear on my mama, I did not see this video. Go ahead.
So then Katie's sister chimed in. Katie made it home because she was on another boat and with different people.
So they couldn't find her, but she's on social media. Katie assumes a friend telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Okay. Sweet. Katie made it home because she was on another boat looking for people. Katie was safe because my brother and sister-in-law went and got her. But I thought he was with you. Huh? Okay. Never mind.
Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. So the question is, where was Nolan after the interaction of Katie? Did Katie see him get on that boat?
From our friends at NBC and the real
Did Katie's you know what? Never mind.
But where's
Top
all the
detective
audio? I mean,
there
where's
at
all
the-
the fucking camera, like surveillance? There's nothing. Seeing these people going on a boat together.
Like I said, man, I'm wondering why his friends have his phone.
And saying that's the phone part is what, and why the phone was there, why the phone got deleted, why they all deleted their social media.
If and I don't even know if Katie's a real person. This could be a troll account. This could be a catfish. You dig? Just
But
putting some
the
shit up
group
on
said-
social media.
But the group says that he went back to meet a girl.
Well, the girl was Katie.
But that's what I'm saying. But nobody knows who she is and
Well,
why.
she has answered. She said that her and her family. And they're saying that the group that he was with was telling him to get on the boat. And the group that he was with has his phone.
Why?
But yet he was found on the island.
Shit is crazy, yo.
And I'm thinking it's one or two things, dog. It's one or two things. It's either his friends did him something, or they left him on that island, and some stranger, some wicked person, some wicked group of people may have come by and did that boy some harm and left him there. Because it was a party weekend.
Yep.
So you may have an unknown assailant out there, or a group of assailants out there, if not his friends who did this.
See, I can see that, Kitty.
I think he got snuck. That's what I think they lured him into some place and they snuck him from behind or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Listen, man, I said it already, man. A lot of niggas don't understand. They get caught up in shit, thinking shit is just fun. But I said it. It's not off the table. You talking about celebrating America's 250th anniversary? Do you know the history of this country? Do you think it's something sweet? There are people that have long-standing beliefs that they have passed down from generation to generation, and you find your ass caught up in some Wicker Man bullshit, yes, sir. You find your ass caught up in some pagan ritual, and your ass is the supreme sacrifice, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ian, who said it so eloquently, more questions spinning out because of the phone. Why was it on the boat? Why did he let the boat leave without it? And speaking of the boat, listen to this.
So first, at 9:56 a.m., the boat leaves the original dock. It arrives at Horn Island at 11:14. So at around 4 o'clock, there is a call to the Coast Guard about the boat. NBC News got a hold of it.
We're sinking. Can y'all please tell?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board. So does that mean Nolan is on there? Who was on that boat?
Okay, there are innocent explanations for that, and there are nefarious explanations for that. But I do know this. They stated the boat was sinking.
What?
But was it?
At 4:31, the boat leaves Horn Island and it is towed approximately 3 miles, and then the tow ends. So after 3 miles, they go back to the original dock. Okay, they arrive at 5:44 p.m. So it looks like this is where Horn Island is, and this is where the original dock is that I am referring to. I looked it up, and El Camino Real Road is in Gulf Hills, Mississippi, which is right above Ocean Springs. So I'm wondering if this is the house where they got the phone. The boat travels to Fort Bayou. At 6:06, the boat returns to the original dock. Then from the original dock, the boat goes back to Fort Bayou, and then they go to the boat launch and it is put onto the trailer and moved by the vehicle. Did they drop people off at the original dock, travel to Fort Bayou, pick somebody up, and go back to that original dock? And then from there, why was there an hour and 13-minute time gap? This boat was sinking hours before, and then they're just having it docked for an hour and 13 minutes. You would think they'd want to get that boat out of the water ASAP.
From the Real TikTok detective, and she's got a point. Does nobody have a problem with that? The boat is sinking when they call for help, and then they take the boat around for hours that night. Okay, Mobley, you don't have a problem with that?
I would want to know the nature of the malfunction of the boat and whether or not it was repaired. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Explain, please.
I mean, it's not complicated. I mean, what it comes down to is what was the nature of the complication of the boat and was it repaired? And if it was repaired properly, then I don't see any issue with it. And I want to be clear, those are legitimate questions, but again, as I alluded to earlier, when you start taking bits and pieces of the puzzle and you start putting them out there without context, that's when you start spreading misinformation. I would assume.
Well, you're right. But I certainly do not believe that this investigation needs to be shut down because there are potential innocent explanations. You don't just end an investigation because it could all be explained away. And I'm not saying his friends are responsible or not responsible because I don't know. Is it true, Crouppen, that many of the people there that day have lawyered up and they're not talking? Is that true? Or have they, unbeknownst to me, have they cooperated and spoken to authorities?
I mean, from what we've seen, that was what happened. They all deleted their social media accounts right away. They lawyered up. So it seems as though they've been advised. And here's a big question for me, Nancy. Was the company that allegedly got the call that they were in distress, And their official statement was before assistance was rendered, the vessel owner advised that sea tow was no longer needed because help had already been obtained. Sea tow's involvement concluded at that point.
Sea tow, everybody, is two words, SEATOW. They come and render aid and haul in, tug in boats, ships that need help. Okay, hold on. Heather Barnhart with me, digital forensics expert, author, co-author of Practical Mobile Forensics 4th edition. What about GPS? What can I learn from the GPS on that boat? Because I want to know.
If his phone is on the boat, it is tracking every location that the boat went to. I would also be curious on the last time the phone was unlocked, the last steps, even if it's not unlocked, the last steps will be tracked, and last general usage. Because we may be able to say the last time that Nolan was on his device and physically using it, which would be really helpful in this investigation.
Straight out to Brian Trasher joining us, Vice President, United Cajun Navy, who participated in the search for Nolan. Couple of questions. What can you tell me about GPS on boats, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, they operate just like any other kind of GPS. They get fed from satellites, and they keep archives of logs and trips and things like that. A couple of things I want to point out there, Nancy, because I'm probably the only person on the panel that's been to Horn Island. They said, going back to the phone and possible deleted messages and all that, when his mother first said she thought that messages had been deleted, she later clarified that what she was talking about, she thought it was odd that Nolan had not done any Snapchats, which was his favorite app, presumably. So the reason why he didn't do any Snapchats because he didn't have a signal. It's very hard to get a cell phone signal on Horn Island, and Snapchat doesn't upload if you don't have a signal. What I told him was to check his camera roll. If he wasn't able to upload on his app, maybe he just took pictures with his regular camera and saved it to his camera roll, see if there's any pictures on there. But there's no evidence to suggest that anybody went in and deleted any text messages or anything like that that day. So I just want to, we've been fighting so much information out there, just don't want to help spread it by not addressing that.
Brian Trasher, you and I go back a long way with your involvement with United Cajun Navy. I only have one question for you. Are you a digital forensics expert?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No further questions. Thank you. Brian Trasher, let me talk about something that you do know about, which includes boat GPS. What exactly, last time for tonight, what exactly was seen when Nolan's body was found? Every detail.
Okay, so the body was right at the shoreline, right where the water meets the sand. It was laying face down. And like I said earlier, the swim trunks that were described and photographed, that he was photographed in the day he died, the day he presumably died, where he was still wearing, did not appear to be wearing shoes or a shirt. And yeah, face down, and there were law enforcement kind of standing all around him, just like whatever they were doing, their jobs, I'm sure. But that is what I saw from the air.
I'm looking at it. Let's see, his face down. His left foot is on top of what looks to be some kelp that has washed ashore. He looks almost as if he's sleeping. He is face down. He's wearing, at first it appeared to be a shirt. He's not wearing a shirt upon zooming in on it. He's barefoot. I don't see anything on his wrists or arms, such as, a watch. I don't see that. It looks to me like he's sleeping on his stomach, with his right leg a little bent outward and his left leg outward as well, like he's asleep on a mattress. His left arm is out and down like he's a stomach sleeper. And it looks to me like his head is turned to one way into the sand. Now, given that position, I see no way that blood could have pooled in the back of his neck. He is absolutely face down. But that is another argument for Dr. Kendall Crowns and myself for another night. This is what we know tonight. What we are learning from the second and independent autopsy is we know nothing, but Crump did hit the nail on the head as it relates to this. The critical moment is when and how Nolan Wells entered the water.
at the time of this report, this forensic pathologist does not know the condition of Nolan Wells. He did not know whether he was conscious or unconscious when he entered the water. He said that would be significant. He said he did not know whether he was forced into the water or unforced into the water. He said that would be significant. So he said the condition of Nolan Wells before he entered the water would be the crux of the matter. It would be of utmost importance to being able to determine a cause and manner of death.
How did Nolan Wells end up in the water? How is there so much confusion about who was with him last? Why can't I identify how everybody in that crowded area on Horn Island left, and what, left him there standing, waving his arms, don't leave? Well, like he's asleep.
You right there for a second. I guess I'm gonna have to do a part 2 about this, Austin and Kirk. Find out who are these people, who is his friends, like what's it behind the stories? Why would people delete their text message? You know, social media, they'll dig in and.
I mean, you heard it yourself. Everybody involved lawyered up, deleted their socials, and shut up. That tells me right there, somebody knows something.
But there's somebody that will expose them. Who are these people?
Well,
you know what I mean? It's social media. You know, somebody will find out. Somebody will talk. Somebody's gonna want to feel the highness of the clout chasing. You know how that goes.
Like I said, man, when you got a group of kids like this, and their families, and it's not so much their families, the kids will ruin the status. The kids will ruin the family name, but America becomes an unsafe place for the children. You understand what I'm saying? Attached to this, and they know it. And so it's just a matter of time before whatever bond they have of secrecy cracks. And once it cracks, it breaks. So that's it.
It's 3:49. Great show. I'm gonna do a part 2 of this. I'm gonna have to do a little more research into this. Appreciate everybody in the panel. Y'all want to say something before I end this? Appreciate everybody in the chat.
No doubt, brother. Anytime. I'm gonna fall back, man. I'm gonna go eat these shrimp.
Shit, go enjoy them shrimps. I'm gonna do a show early tomorrow. You know, a little earlier than that, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock or something. You know, a little decent time. But yeah, I just want to come up here and talk about the story because I'm so pissed about how it hasn't been pursued. More of a investigation than okay, he's dead, all right, whatever.
Man, there's a world of things going on right now. BC, have a good night, brother. You know what I'm saying? Peace and blessings to the family. I'll catch up with y'all brothers at another time.
All right, correct.
All right, salute.
So, you know, this is one of my first stories coming out with this channel here. Tomorrow I'm gonna come out with something else different, but I definitely will do a part 2 of this. Like I said, I like to do my little research, find out the truth, find out, you know, what's going on with the case, and have better info for the people. Austin, you want to say something before I end it? Austin's out cold. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Romeo, Shooter. Who else? Crook that came up here in the panel. Already came in and went. Harlem Romeo, salute. Society. Who else? That's about it. Those are people I'm going to shout out. Whoever was there. So once again, people, appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great night or great morning. Once again, I will be on tomorrow, 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow. Have a great one. We out.